everyone, and welcome back to Speak Out Right Academy. If you joined us last week, thank you for coming back. And if this is your very first time watching one of our videos, I'd like to personally welcome you. This week, I don't want to spend our time talking about grammar. I'm not going to teach pronunciation. We're not going to look at vocabulary lists or reading strategies. Instead, I'd like to spend the next few minutes talking about something much more important: your future. Because I think many people spend so much time thinking about learning English that they forget why they're learning English in the first place. English isn't the goal. English is the bridge. The bridge to a better you. The bridge to university. The bridge to friendships. The bridge to confidence. The bridge to feeling like you truly belong. And that's what I'd like you to imagine today. Not becoming a perfect English speaker, but instead becoming a more confident version of yourself. Over the years, I've taught hundreds, probably thousands of English learners. Some arrived in Canada only weeks before entering the classroom. Others had lived here for years, but still felt afraid to speak. Many apologized before they even introduced themselves. "I'm sorry, my English isn't very good." Have you ever said that? It's amazing how often those words become part of someone's identity. Instead of saying, "My English is improving," they say, "My English is bad." Instead of seeing themselves as someone who's learning, they begin believing they're someone who will never be good enough. And that breaks my heart. Because I've seen what happens when people keep showing up. I've watched students who couldn't introduce themselves become confident presenters. I've watched people who are afraid to answer the phone eventually lead workplace meetings. I've watched learners who once whispered become people who laughed, joked, and shared stories in English. None of that happened overnight. It happened one conversation at a time, one lesson at a time, one small success at a time. Now, I'd like you to close your eyes. Or if you're driving or walking, just picture this in your mind. Imagine today is your first day inside Speak Out Right Academy. You log in. You see people from around the world. Some are beginners, some are more advanced. Everyone has the same goal: to become a little better today than they were yesterday. You introduce yourself. Maybe you're nervous. Maybe you rewrite your introduction 3 times before posting it. Then something unexpected happens. People respond. They welcome you. They encourage you. Someone says, "I'm from Brazil." Another person says, "I'm from Pakistan." Someone else writes, "I'm learning too." Suddenly, you're no longer alone. That changes everything. Over the next few weeks, your routine begins to change. Instead of scrolling social media for 30 minutes, you spend 20 minutes learning. Instead of wondering what to study, you simply follow your learning path. You watch one lesson, complete one activity, attend one workshop, or ask one question. One step every day. Little by little, English becomes part of your life instead of something you only think about when you're forced to speak. And then something surprising happens. You stop translating every sentence. You begin thinking in English. Not all the time, but sometimes. Then more often. And eventually, without even realizing it, English starts feeling natural. People often imagine that learning English has one big finish line, but it doesn't. Instead, it's filled with hundreds of tiny victories. The first time you understand a joke, the first movie you watch without subtitles, the first compliment you receive, the first conversation that lasts 10 minutes, the first job interview, the first presentation, the first time someone says, "I didn't know English wasn't your first language." Those moments are priceless. They're the moments that remind you all the hard work was worth it. One thing I've learned as a teacher is this: people rarely quit because English is too difficult. They quit because they feel alone. Learning by yourself is hard. Nobody notices your progress. Nobody celebrates your success. Nobody encourages you after a difficult day. That's why SORA isn't simply a collection of courses. It's a community, a place where teachers know your name, where classmates cheer you on, where questions are welcomed, where mistakes are celebrated because they're signs that learning is happening. Imagine belonging to a place like that. Now I'd like you to imagine yourself 1 year from today. You're speaking with confidence. You're writing emails without worrying about every sentence. You're participating in meetings. You're making friends. You're helping another English learner who reminds you of yourself today. Think about that. 1 year from now, someone else might look at you and think, "I wish I could speak English like that." And they'll never know how nervous you were today. People often ask me why I created Speak Out Right Academy. The answer is simple. After years of teaching, I realized that students needed more than lessons. They needed somewhere to belong, somewhere they could continue learning after class ended, somewhere they could ask questions, practice, celebrate, grow. That's the dream behind SORA. Not just another online course. A learning community that stays with you throughout your English journey. Right now, we're inviting our first founding 150 members. These aren't just students, they're pioneers. They're helping shape this community from the very beginning. Their feedback will influence future lessons, future workshops, future resources. Years from now, when thousands of learners are part of SORA, our founding 150 will always know they were here at the beginning. I'd like to leave you with one final thought. Imagine waking up 1 year from today. Would you rather say, I wish I had started learning last year? Or, I'm so glad I started when I did. The future version of you is waiting. Every lesson, every conversation, every workshop, every small step brings you a little closer. We'd love for that journey to begin here. Welcome to Speak Out Right Academy. We can't wait to meet you.